What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the 2025 NFL season. This is the official start of 2025. We've got a showdown, Thursday night football, and we're back. The Showdown breakdown crew, Geek, Bobby 2 times. We're gonna bring you all the breakdowns to attack this Dallas Eagles game, Thursday night football, and a whole season of good times coming up. What's up, Bobbywow? Great to see you again.
Man, it is good to see you. It's good to be here for the real thing. And how about a little Thursday game we're talking tonight, but then we get to watch football on Friday as well this week? Life is good, man.
Thursday, next week too. There's a lot of football in the first couple of weeks. Weekend football, Friday night games, Thursday night football. And we got a banger to start it off, to start off the whole season. By the way, I hope everybody's had a great draft season. Some people might still be doing their drafts tonight. This would be the last possible night.
I don't know if this is bad to admit, but there were a bunch of DraftKings best ball drafts that apparently I hadn't finished yet. So I think the timer moved to like 10 minutes as of yesterday or the day before. So all of a sudden I'm like getting notification after notification in that cram mode. So that was pleasant.
But yeah, that does happen. In your slow drafts, they all speed up, and all of a sudden you're picking. And we've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for this moment. I feel like it's been like 7 months of waiting.
Too much waiting. Yeah. But we're back.
And I've also got all this. I will tell you, I've got a lot of anticipation. I've built a ton of lineups. I've drafted a ton of best ball teams. I've drafted a ton of fantasy football teams. So I feel so right about everything. I know that this weekend is when it all goes to shit, but I'm still on the high of like, I'm right about all my picks and I can't wait to see it play out.
There's one guy too tonight that was one of my highest picks in all my best ball drafts for Thursday. So I'm excited to talk about him as well. We'll see.
Yeah. Interesting. Now, so the two teams we have going for tonight, let's just talk a little bit about this game. We'll get the lines going. So this is a heavy favored Eagles situation. Of course, the Eagles are at home. Listen, I fully expect the Eagles to smash Dallas tonight. Sorry, Cowboys fans. I am expecting the potential smash, blowout here, all of that. So I'm looking at this one as a big Eagles win type of situation. Of course, week one gets weird. What do you think, Bobby?
Yeah, look, I think if we look back to last season, obviously the Eagles had the Cowboys number. Eagles win the Super Bowl. Like, this is a good team, a very good team that is still very much similar to last season. Cowboys lost Micah Parsons. Some new weapons on offense, though, which will be interesting. So, look, I'd like to think that the Cowboys can keep up a little bit here and make it a fun game. Sportsbooks don't think so, but that's kind of the way I'm building, is the Cowboys keep up a little bit more than we think. And, yeah, that's kind of how I'm building my GPP lineups.
Interesting approach. Now, let's remember that the Eagles last season, effectively the number one rush defense in the NFL. They were top 7, I think, versus the pass, and effectively number one overall versus the run. So this is a nasty, nasty defense. On the flip side, the Dallas defense was not very good last year, and now they lost Micah Parsons. Look like even less good this year, Bobbywow. And the Eagles team ran all over these guys in both of their games last season.
You look, and I don't think anyone's going to stop the Eagles. I think that's maybe the most clear thing about this game. The Cowboys defense is going to struggle. There is no slowing this game down enough to slow the Eagles down. So I think if there is a competitive scenario, it is a shootout, or it's at least the Cowboys putting up some points too. But you're absolutely right. The Eagles absolutely dominated last season, although no Dak Prescott in either of those two games.
Yeah, so you almost have to throw those games out a little bit, because without Dak, the Cowboys are terrible. But the other thing, so let's talk a little bit about some changes on these two teams. The offseason changes, new names, new faces. On the Dallas side, there's some obvious changes. Brandon Cooks gone. In his place, George Pickens.
Big time upgrade, if you ask me.
Significant upgrade, I agree. Dallas running back situation has gotten weird, and we might find some turds in there, or we might just avoid some landmines in there. Not sure. But Dallas brings in Javonte on a one-year deal, Javonte Williams. They got Miles Sanders, who is useless at this point in his NFL career. And all they have behind them is a 4th or 5th round rookie, undersized rookie in Jaden Blue, who has some explosiveness, but was injured for a lot of training camp and is a massive mystery.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to navigate that for this, and just try to understand it. On the Eagles side, man, nothing's new over there. It's the same team from last year. I thought maybe they added Jahan Dotson or somebody like that as their WR3.
He was there last year. He just didn't do anything, so it felt like he wasn't there.
Oh, so no one knew. It's the same guy who didn't do anything last year. Jahan Dotson. No real other changes. There's a different backup running back for the Eagles today, Will Shipley.
Yeah.
Could be mildly relevant if there is a blowout. Could be. I don't know.
Could be.
A little bit of that. So, yeah. Based on the defensive prowess of the Eagles and their rush defense and the lack of talent at running back on Dallas, it kind of goes to make sense that Dallas is going to be out here throwing as much as possible, trying to keep up with an Eagles offense that is going to fly in this one. Does that sound about right?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's what we'll see. The one thing that we will talk about more and with the Cowboys, again, one of the guys that I liked more than I probably should is Javonte Williams can catch the football out of the backfield. So even if the Cowboys are throwing the ball, that doesn't necessarily mean he can't be effective. So yes, I do agree though. The Cowboys are going to air this thing out if they want to keep up.
I've got 3 votes for Turpin, aka Turd Pin, as the possible turd of this slate so far in the chat. So
okay.
I would say any of that. We're gonna have to find that guy. But I could say Turpin. I'm assuming the appeal, and that's why they're saying it, is Turpin's got that kind of gadget role for Dallas right now. He's not even the WR3, but he's just kind of going to be out. They might run. They might use him as a running back. He'll have some gadget plays, that kind of thing. So Turpin is definitely the kind of guy that could pop out of nowhere. Although that 16% ownership projection does not inspire. Oops, I just scrolled away. Does not inspire confidence, though.
It doesn't. Now, what we've seen from the Cowboys, though, is they will mix in those WR4, WR5 guys quite a bit throughout the game. So you're absolutely right. I think Turpin's going to see the field. He'll have opportunities, but it's not like he's going unowned or min price. That's the problem. Definitely.
He's just heavily owned. A couple of notes, and we're going to get into the ownerships, Bobbywow. We can't do the matchups tool. Regular watchers of the show know we have a matchups tool. It will show snap counts for the previous game and the season, and we get a sense of like usage. That's just not relevant in week 1. They're all the same 0% usage last week. So that tool we're not going to get into. So instead, we'll get into the ownerships, the captain ownerships, I think, and the flexes, and we'll kind of break it down that way. But Bobbywow, there's a couple of items that I wanted to get to beforehand. The first is FanDuel. The wicked stepchild, the redheaded stepchild of showdowns. FanDuel. No one wants to play FanDuel in the past because it's all ties. And now FanDuel has adjusted their format and copied exactly what DraftKings is doing when the 1.5x captain position. How do you feel about this? You're the FanDuel master.
I'm pumped. This is great. This is fantastic news. I think this was the reason most people were avoiding FanDuel, is not because the competition was better. I think maybe FanDuel might be a little less sharp in terms of the competition. But it's because of this lame showdown format where the salary didn't matter for the MVP. Well, now it does. And so we get to kind of play off of, okay, here's how DraftKings price things. Here's how FanDuel price things. And I think we can gather some really interesting insights from that as we begin to build throughout the season. So I think it's a humongous win for us and for FanDuel.
Yeah, it's a different format also brings like mistakes by the field in terms of how to attack something. So I need to think through the FanDuel format and their pricing and everything. And we'll look at that here. But we'll try to figure out what the edge is, because FanDuel was always a site that kind of favored quarterbacks a little bit in the MVP, a little bit, and running backs, whereas DraftKings slightly favor running backs and wide receivers. So we're going to have to see how this plays. how the salaries kind of play relative to everything else, right? Did they price up these quarterbacks? Do anything unusual here? So we'll get a sense of that. A couple other things I want to mention here, guys, and this is a big one, Bobbywow.
Yeah.
The staff, the staff at DFS Army, and this is not for me because I'm against this. They have instituted a flash sale to sign up, which is only happening during the show. So it's for only 25 people will be able to use this code. So if you're watching this and you're not set up at DFS Army for NFL for the season, you're not a subscriber, you're watching the free site, this is your chance. Promo code NFL Flash. And let me make sure that's the actual code. And yeah, promo code NFL Flash. NFL FLASH.
Does it matter?
It does matter. NFL Flash, uppercase.
All uppercase, all caps. Okay.
25% off a full season of NFL or all football at DFS Army. That's our biggest discount. Oh, see, there it comes on the screen. NFL Flash, you get 20. There's only 25 spots for that. It's supposed to happen and fill during the show. So for those of you guys who wait, I get it. I'm a procrastinator. NFL Flash, 25% off. That's for an NFL only yearly sub, which is the best one to do. 12 months. It's literally less than the monthly cost of just having it for 3 or 4 months on the monthly. And then the 25% off is crazy. So I think the full season of NFL with that is 300 less 25%. It's like 220. It's insanely low. Do it now. NFL Flash. There's only 25 of those to use. And the other piece of business before we get into the breakdown is Sharp App. I've got to mention the Sharp App arbitrage tool is live. It's printing cash, and we want you to check it out. Therefore, Sharp App is doing a 1-week totally free trial to use this ARB tool. Bobbywow, you've been ARBing.
What a week. Yes, I have.
Been ARBing.
I've been chomping at the bit to try this for NFL.
I can't wait. We're doing it live tomorrow night. Live in-game arbitrage. No one else has it. It's impossible to bring it. The tech to bring the prices to screen is crazy, but we have it. And right here, you see how does an ARB tool work? Well, luckily, here in real time live, there are 5%, 4%, and 3% ARBs just sitting there waiting to be taken. How does this work? I bet Cooper Kupp under 3.5 receptions at plus 128 on ProfitX. I bet Cooper Kupp over 3.5 receptions at minus 105 on BetMGM. If the under wins, I profit $18. If the over wins, I profit $19. You know what? You know who doesn't profit? The sportsbook, because we're taking their money. Over wins, under wins, you always win when you ARB. Check this out. It's promo code Geek. It gets you a 7-day free trial to the arbitrage tool at Sharp App. And I promise you, yeah, I was going to go to Arby's today just for roast beef dinner. That's how much I love the Arby. I'm going to Arby's. We got the ARBs. Yeah. Anyway, guys, check it out. It's a freebie. Promo code Geek. You get 7 days. If you can't make the $179 back that this tool costs per month within that 7 days, just cancel it. Actually, you can cancel it if you don't like it anyway. I don't care. But I guarantee, I'm not going to guarantee, you will make back everything that the tool costs in your first night of ARBing, and then you'll have a whole month of making money, printing cash. I made $4,000 doing this in per month for the few months I did it before NBA got canceled, and I fully plan to pad my DraftKings bankroll by arbitraging all year. That way I could throw money at tournaments all year, lose, win a tournament, $1 million. They're going to call me Kevin 2 times or Kevin 1 time.
No, Kevin 10 times.
Got to get the millions, All right. Let's get into the captaincy spot here. And we're going to talk from a FanDuel perspective, Bobbywow. But DraftKings FanDuel, from a DraftKings perspective, but we'll then do a little FanDuel breakdown as well. So as we know, on DraftKings, the format slightly favors wide receivers because of the PPR, full PPR upside, but it's only slight. We have a running quarterback on the slate in Jalen Hurts. We have Saquon Barkley, who has absolutely smashed the Cowboys time and time again, and he's probably going to do it tonight. Up top, and I'm just going to do a little sort by ownership. So Jalen Hurts comes in as the highest owned captain by far.
Yes.
almost one quarter of lineups will have Jalen Hurts as the captain. And by the way, as the MVP on FanDuel as well for this one, for good reason. Jalen Hurts is destroyed. He almost does it angrily. He hates the Cowboys.
He does. And look, we hear this like Super Bowl hangover thing all the time, right? Or championship hangover, whatever sport it might be. It feels like the Eagles are saying all the right things. Like, I don't know if maybe I'm in the football season, I'm in the romance of it, but it feels like the things I'm hearing from Hurts and from Barkley and the entire Eagles team, they're ready to roll and they're ready to be mean and mad and smoke the Cowboys like that again. So I'm not concerned about any Super Bowl hangover here. I know that's one of the narratives that I've heard in the airwaves, but I think you're right. I think the Eagles are going to want to take it to the Cowboys and really make a statement opening night.
I spoke to an Eagles insider this morning, and I got some info. And the info was they're gonna smash the Dallas tonight. So yeah, I talked to Gargano this morning. He said, don't just bet -8.5, bet -15.5. You're good.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Yeah, so very confident. Eagles camp is very confident going into this one. We'll see.
We'll see.
So, yeah, Jalen Hurts, though, has smashed the Cowboys in the past. He's coming to 25% owned. Then Saquon Barkley, next best guy, coming in at 13% ownership at the captain spot. Just the captain, guys. That's captain ownership. His overall ownership will be a lot higher. And then after that, it's kind of a group that I'm curious, not just which ones you like, Bobbywow, but like if we need to, like what kind of stacks or correlation we might think about with these guys. But of course, AJ Brown. I think if Brown is in your lineup, you want Hurts in there. AJ Brown could pop for 40. He's done it before. Yep, unlikely here, but it's happened.
Yeah.
Trevion Diggs will be out for this game, by the way. Not that matters, but he'll be out. The top cornerback for Dallas. CeeDee Lamb coming in at 10. I like CeeDee Lamb, I think, above AJ Brown, if you're asking me, but he's a little more expensive.
I agree. Yeah. You're going to pay for him.
CeeDee Lamb, to me, Bobbywow, they have to throw to him in this game a lot of time. I don't care how good the defenders are. I don't care how good the defense is. Lamb is probably in line here for 12 plus targets.
Yeah, I would be shocked if he didn't see double-digit targets here. Yeah. I am really intrigued, though, about Pickens and what Pickens does to either open things up maybe a little bit for CD, or if Pickens just ends up being open and getting targets funneled to him, because one of those two guys is going to get a ton of targets, if not both of them. So Pickens is so interesting.
12K. He's priced kind of right in between. Or the captain price 12K, price right between Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, significantly cheaper than CeeDee Lamb for Pickens. We don't know. It's always a mystery when a player makes his debut on a new team. But I will say that the Eagles' defense, perimeter defense, is where it is best. Like, this is not a good matchup for Pickens at all. They'll get the Eagles' top defender because Lamb is going to play out of the slot.
Yeah.
And you're not putting your best guy, and I can't remember the name. I know they have a really good cornerback on the Eagles whose name escapes me at the second, but they're not putting him on Tolbert on the outside. That guy's going to be on Pickens.
Yeah, not a good matchup really for anybody outside of CD is okay, but yes, I agree.
Yeah, so. Pickens, though, interesting. Devontae Smith has had some recent success. I looked at I went back and looked at the game logs between AJ Brown and Smith in games against the Cowboys. And for whatever reason, AJ Brown they hasn't been needed. But Smith has had the better games in recent history. Not to say that matters that much, but he has had the better games.
He has against the Cowboys in this matchup.
Oh, Cooper DeJean is in the slot. Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it. Cooper DeJean is really good. So, and that would be on Lamb more likely than not.
It's a tough matchup across the board, but look, the Cowboys, they're going to find a way to get people open here. They have to.
Tell me about Javonte Williams. Is Javonte Williams and a realistic. So I'm kind of like, after that first group, I am not in the turd zone for me and captain today. I'm not feeling any of these guys. These teams tend to focus on their studs. But is there anybody outside of that group, Devontae, for you, Bobbywow, that pops as like an actual reasonable captain play on this slate tonight?
I do agree with you. And I would say if you're playing cash games, just put Jalen Hurts in your captain slot and move on. That's my recommendation. If we are looking to get a little bit more GPP, a little more contrarian, I don't think it's a sexy pick. I don't think it's, likely to explode. But I think the most glaring one to me, jumping off the page, is Javonte Williams. This is a guy who, from everything we've heard, has won the RB1 job in Dallas. Okay, he is going to be the guy to start the season. And I think, we have further confirmation just because we know that Miles Sanders is backing him up. So I don't know that Miles Sanders is going to be splitting touches by any means, at least not in game one. And this is a guy who's priced at 8,100 as a captain, the RB1 against, yes, top rushing defense from last season. Not a great matchup in a new environment, right? Comes over from Denver. But I think if you're looking to take some shots on somebody at 4.6% ownership right now at $8,100, I don't know that I can make a case for anyone else better than Javonte.
I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time getting myself to even believe that Javonte could be a reasonable captain. But certainly, yeah, I agree with you. Anybody else? Maybe
Jake Ferguson. I think Ferguson is viable, right? Goddard, a little too expensive. If he was Ferguson's price, I'd be a little more intrigued. But you're right. Like, what we're talking about now is very tournament heavy. Like, I don't know that you have to venture below those top 4 or 5 guys necessarily. But yeah, I will have some Javonte and I will have some Ferguson in my tournament lineups as well.
Yeah, I think that's about the end of the potential captain pool for me. Just a couple of quick thoughts, Bobbywow. Like, if you have Saquon as your captain, which will be a very popular pick, obviously. Is there any correlation that you can think of where we want to either give a boost or, hey, if in my Saquon lineups, I definitely want some of this? I'm having a hard time. So is there any correlative kind of options there that could go along with him? Or is it just like kind of like a pluck him in and then make the lineup how you want? Or am I avoiding, when my Saquon lineups, maybe am I avoiding the pass catchers from the Eagles and the rest of the lineup? Like, is there any, let's call it game theory correlation that we need to think about with Barkley? Or, I can think of different ones with Hurts and the other guys, but Barkley in particular kind of stands out to me as, I'm not sure.
I think 2 things for me. Number one, we learned last season that Barkley can do it, put up numbers with Jalen Hurts in the lineup. I think the Eagles proved this to us, and the Ravens proved this to us with Lamar and Henry. So I'm not going to do anything correlative to keep those guys separate in the lineup. What I will do, and you alluded to it, is I will likely have a rule that says if Barkley is captain, include at most 0 to 1 of Devonta Smith and AJ Brown. I don't want all 3 of those guys in a lineup that Barkley's a captain in. Because if those guys are going off at the same time, chances are it's because Hurts is outscoring Barkley. So that's kind of my mindset. That's where my brain's at. What about you?
Yeah, no, I like that thought. At a bare minimum, and it's not a lot. It's not asking a lot to say, and you're not putting too much restriction. I know you're not a restrictor.
No, I'm not a restrictor at all.
Yeah,
and
you're
even
not.
That is like, but that's probably the route I'm going.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. If Barkley's in that lineup, then at most one of Brown or Smith, not both, right? So I think that's acceptable. Obviously, with some of these other ones, to me, listen, if CeeDee Lamb's my captain, I've got Dak in the flex. Like, I'm going to lock that in. If AJ Brown or Devontae Smith are in my lineup, I am going to lock in the quarterback in the flex as well. I'm going to do that for this one. And these are DraftKings plays. I'm much less like wide receivers in the captain on FanDuel.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, I was thinking maybe, we'll see in a little bit. I was thinking maybe they'll they'll lower the price on wide receivers then,
Yeah.
but they did not. The wide receivers are more expensive than Dak, and yeah, that's not where I'm going on FanDuel. Now, as someone in the chat mentioned, Hurts and Barkley would be really expensive together. Absolutely, they would be, and that's part of why I painted the picture of Javonte Williams, right? If somehow, some way, and again, very unlikely, he was able to put up points, maybe 6 or 7 catches, 50 yards receiving, 40 yards, whatever, put up points at 8K at captain. That is the type of captain where you can fit both those guys in your lineup relatively comfortably. So when we talk about guys like Javonte and the captain, those are the scenarios we're talking about using him in.
Yeah, not necessarily where we're expecting Javonte to score the most fantasy points.
Exactly. Yes.
On the slate, but where that little sliver of savings allowed Hurts and Barkley in the flex, and they both kind of popped, and it's a spend the full salary situation. So in those situations, if I put a cheaper captain in there, you always want to be spending most of that salary, because it's not as likely that they're going to actually outscore. It's certainly not likely to outscore Hurts, Barkley, or those type of guys.
Yep.
CeeDee Lamb, Pickens. Yeah, Pickens will go with Dak. So Dak being a pocket passer. If I did play Dak at captain or at all, I'm definitely forcing him with one of his pass catchers as well. If he's a captain for me, or I don't know if I'm going to do pocket passers as captains on DraftKings very often, but if I did, that's going to be a double stacker.
Yeah. I'll boost for sure.
Yeah. We did a little off-season research, and even on DraftKings, you know what? Quarterbacks did wind up as the nuts captain frequently enough, Bobbywow, but not as often as the field played them.
Correct.
So the quarterback captaincy rate where they were the nuts captain was floating between like 22 to 24% of the time, but ownerships for quarterbacks kind of floating a little closer to 28 to 33%. So there's definitely an overplay of quarterback. And then what I think, because I didn't quite peel the research down that second layer, but I also think that if you actually removed running quarterbacks, those numbers would be way worse. So like pocket passers in the cap, that was an overall number. It was like 25%. You got Josh Allen in there, Lamar, you got Hurts and Jaden Daniels. If you get rid of that group, it's probably much less.
Yep.
Let's jump over to the flex here, and I'm going to sort by ownership, Bobbywow, and just kind of see. And again, guys, week 2 and beyond, we have usage numbers that we can also kind of compare. This is week 1. We don't have usages. We have projections, right? We have our prop projections and we have projections, but we don't have actual usages. But when I sort the flex spot, this is DraftKings for ownership, I think it's, interesting and obvious. Jalen Hurts, again, the highest by far. Dak Prescott getting a very high ownership. Dak's priced down at $9K. He's getting pretty good ownership. The thought is he's going to have to be slinging it no matter what, which I get. Barkley, 40%. Lamb, 35%. A.J. Brown, 35%. I like Lamb a lot more than A.J. Brown. But yet they're going to be
he's more expensive. He's
a little bit.
What, 1,400 more? That's not insignificant. But yeah, apples to apples, give me CD every day.
Yeah, I like him a lot more than A.J. Brown here. But A.J. Brown has popped for 30-plus fantasy points plenty of times in his career. Can do it.
He's got it in him. I think we just have to keep reminding ourselves, if this game plays out how the sports books think it will, the Eagles aren't going to be throwing the ball 30-plus times, right? This will be more like a 20, maybe, 25 pass attempts for Hurts. And if they're controlling the game, you're not going to see much more than that. So I think that more than anything else limits A.J. Brown in a game like this.
Yeah, I'm not on super high on A.J. for this one. Devontae Smith, DFS Up North loves Devontae Smith in this game. He's got him as a core play. I'm probably not as high as that, but Devontae Smith has kind of weirdly shined in a few games against the Cowboys. I just think he's a little too close in price to Brown. Like he's not $1,000 difference from it. A.J. Brown's like significantly the better wide receiver on this team.
I used to think that. I think the last season and a half has started to kind of shift my opinion a little bit. I still agree. I think you're right. But we have seen some better games from Devonta Smith more recently. Again, I don't know that I'm in love with either of those two guys in a game like this. Devonta's much cheaper than CeeDee Lamb. Like you said, only at 1K cheaper than Brown. So I'm not quite as in love as DFS Up North is, but DFS Up North, it's a smart guy. When he talks, I like to listen.
Yep. I will note that the prop projection model, which is the most accurate.
That's a good shout out right there.
It is the most accurate that exists.
Full 2 points.
Yeah, it's significantly lower than sort of like the modeled projection for both players. So you got AJ Brown going from 16.9 to 14.5, which is telling you something. What this is saying, what the bettors are saying here, Bobbywow, is the Eagles are going to dominate with the run like they've done in the past against the Cowboys. Cowboys lost Micah Parsons. Cowboys defense less good, can't stop the run. They're going to run all over them. They won't need to throw.
Yeah,
that's what they're saying.
Yep.
Osak Gamble, 0 AJ Smith, 0-1. I would say definitely would have a rule that at most one of those two, if Hurts isn't in the lineup, but I agree. I don't really like both of them in a lineup together almost at any circumstance.
And don't forget
Javonte Williams, your guy. What's that?
I was going to say, don't forget with the DS, you don't even have to necessarily rule it out. You can decrease.
Lex P got the flash sell. Huzzah. Huzzah. Let's go. All right. Your guy, Javonte Williams, comes in at 27 so about 28% in the flex. Okay. 5,400 starting running back. That seems low. Jake Ferguson, we're going to have to live in this zone here, Bobbywow.
We are. It's not a terrible zone. It's really not all that bad.
Ferguson looks good. I'm fine with him. Javonte is an acceptable play. Eagles defense, okay.
Yes.
Dallas Goedert kind of came on strong late last year, but nothing great. No great expectation. I don't love the price. Definitely don't love the projection for the price.
Yeah, he's pricey, man. You'll get him at relatively. I don't know that he'll be that high owned. Right now, looking at 25.
Yeah, like about 20% owned.
Yeah, that is not a favorable price for him.
After that, we get our kickers and defenses. Brandon Aubrey is a guy that won me leagues in the past. That's how good of a kicker Brandon Aubrey is.
I think we need a relatively close game script if Aubrey is going to do damage, because at some point here, the Cowboys are going to stop kicking field goals, right? When you go if you're down 28-3, I don't know that I don't think you're going to be going for it on fourth down more often than not, especially in that Cowboys offense. So that's my biggest concern with Aubrey. It's not that he doesn't have an amazing leg, which he does. It's that if this game gets out of hand early, I don't think we see him as much as we normally would.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, this setup, when we take a kicker, the setup in the perfect world is a low-scoring game, two really good defenses, or a team that might lead or be ahead. We want a favored kicker here. This is a massive underdog kicker. The only way it works out is like if they they have to kick 4 field goals. They're moving the football, but they can't get in the end zone, and randomly just the Cowboys wind up kicking a bunch of field goals. I'm not going to completely write him off, but the way I see the game playing out is probably not the best for Aubrey. But he has
take it for what it's worth. But last year is last year. The Eagles outscored the Cowboys 75-13 in the 2 games last season. So again, could the Cowboys find a way to bend, not break, maybe limit the Eagles to some field goals, and then Aubrey's the one keeping them in the game? Absolutely, it's possible. I just don't know that it's the likely scenario here.
We're in the turd zone here, Bobbywow. And so I'm just going to shoot some names out there of some of these turds. And do any of them appeal to you at all? And by the turd zone, guys, I don't mean the person is anything of a bad person. I mean, these are not good fantasy football players or plays. Okay, let's be clear. So in the turd zone here, we've got Miles Sanders.
I don't even know that we call him a turd. He's he's not even that much cheaper than like Brandon Aubrey.
He's priced up crazy high. I don't like the price at all at 4K. That's a no for me, dog. Kevontae Turpin, I think, is interesting.
Yes, I think he was the popular name in the chat, right?
Yes. Turpin keeps coming up. I don't love the 16% ownership because this truly is kind of a turd play. Basically, I think what we're hoping for with Turpin is, a gimmick play.
A gimmick play, or in a more of a blowout, couple receptions. It's not going to take a ton at 2,800.
That's still expensive. I'd rather see a $200 Kevontae Turpin. Even at 2,800 feels a little.
Well, then he'd be 40%, 50% owned, right?
At this price point, he could take like an end around to the house, get 8 points, 20 yards plus the touchdown, and still not be in the winning lineup.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, at 2,800, it could happen. I'm not saying it will. I'm saying that's in the realm of that could not be enough.
Oh man, that would be wild. I would be shocked if that happened.
It could be. We've seen it. So like if he was 200, sure, that's a nuts play. But when it at 3K, I don't know.
You're gonna start looking though here, and you're gonna realize he's one of the cheapest viable in a lot of ways.
It gets really gross after Turpin. We talk about Sanders, Schoonmaker, just the TE2 for the anytime. All TE2s are always going to be turd viable, I think, in a showdown. Would you agree, Bobbywow?
100%. I just wish we had a soundbite of DFS up north saying Schoonmaker for us because he's got that.
We need a
Minnesota accent.
We need a Minnesotan in here, Schoonmaker, to say the name. 1,600. It's just a backup tight end viability. I'll throw what's his name, Calcaterra, in that same conversation. There's no saying this backup tight end couldn't pop one.
Yeah, but just to kind of play devil's advocate here, Calcaterra is only $400 cheaper than Turpin. He has to do more than, in that scenario you outlined, he has to do more than fall in the end zone at that price. I wish these guys were closer to min price, I guess is what I'm saying, as far as turds are concerned.
Man, there's multiple Team Loopkey people here as well. I mean,
now we're talking closer to min price.
At least it's 200.
Not min price. Right, he is min price. 200.
Let's go through a couple others, though, before we get to that one. But to see the same name more than once is crazy. That name more than once. So other possible turds, Jahan Dotson. We know this guy is a disaster, but every once in a while they throw it to him and he gets a touchdown. I mean,
he's fast.
Yeah,
we know he's fast.
Turd viable.
He could break one. I feel like once a year he breaks a long touchdown. It's always when we don't roster him, but once a year he's good for a long touchdown.
I'll allow it. Ivan, a couple of people talking about Mechie, who was traded to Dallas, but at 3,800, again, I'm not feeling this price point. And Mechie, I just want to remind you guys that Mechie was on a team last year that had no wide receivers and could not crack the starting lineup at all. I was a Mechie believer coming out of college, but I don't know. I don't really get it.
Yeah,
not for that price.
His quarterback didn't help him, but yeah, I agree. Not that price.
Turd certified. You want your turds certified.
That who's kind of being forgotten about while we're in this price range here? Jalen Tolbert is completely being forgotten about. And I don't know why. Like, look, this guy, I think, will have the third most snaps as a Dallas wide receivers are concerned. And, we've seen him produce some decent games in the past. If the Cowboys are in throw mode early on, he's a guy that could put up some legitimate points at 3,400. I'm kind of surprised the field is glossing over him.
I don't mind. I agree with you. It's weird to me that Turpin is looked at. I think the ownership. So Turpin, 16% owned as the WR4 gadget guy. And the WR3, who's going to be on the field for all the snaps, 6% owned. And Tolbert was the WR2 last year. He had some big games, and he'll have the weakest coverage assignment of any of the Dallas wide receiver. Yeah, I don't mind it. The forgotten turd. That's right. Jalen Tolbert, WR. By the way, Jalen Tolbert, talking about Tolbert, he was a guy, Bobbywow, that I plucked up in round 20 of my best ball drafts. all throughout this for the same reason. He was just always there. And I was like, man, it's round 20 and I'm getting like the WR8 or some guy who's not even going to play. Or I have a starting wide receiver that's going to be on the field for a team that wants to sling it.
Yep.
So, yeah, Tolbert won the real Fred Major $680, allegedly. So, there you go.
I'm not saying he's a lock, but I'm just saying, like, if that ownership's going to hold, let's take advantage of that. If you're playing tournaments, he's the guy I want to be overweight on, not the Turpin 20% projection.
There's one other turd I want to discuss.
Either of them could end up in the nuts. Absolutely. Who is it? I want to hear it.
Yeah, there's one other turd I need to discuss.
Oh no,
it's Will Shipley. And here's the situation. Now you're going to say, Kev, I watched the Eagles last year. They never took Saquon Barkley out of the game. He had a 98% snap. All that's true. I'm not disagreeing with you, Bobbywow. He was in the game all the time, except you got to take a breather. Okay, you got to take a breather, one. And number two, there is a blowout possibility in this game where I could even see a scenario where in the fourth quarter, they're just running the clock out. It's, again, somebody gave me a hard time, but I was like, it could be like 42-0. It's just a beat down. Remember the Saints beat down the Cowboys last year? I was so excited about the Cowboys. Well, they're a good team. And the Saints like went on the road into Dallas with Dak at the helm and locked them down. And I was like, oh, this is a horror show. It's 40-3. So I have now 4 scenarios where Shipley might come into play, all low likelihood, but probably more than the 6% ownership that Shipley's going to get. So my fourth scenario is the one that must not be mentioned. When a backup running back comes into a game, I will not speak those words. For the almighty Saquon shall not be dissed on this program or spoken of negatively at all. But Shipley could find his way into the game any number of reasons. At 6% owned, 2K. That's the one that's kind of got me. Now, again, I know it's the Eagles. I know they don't run a second quarter running back out there, or they didn't last year. They played Saquon every single snap. It was awesome. We love that. But there's also blowout run and other reasons why. And I think it's just as good as any of these other turd reasons to play anybody.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And here's the thing. If you are playing Shipley, high likelihood that he's in because the Eagles have put up a bunch of points. So I'm not like fading Barkley in that lineup. I'm not fading Hurts in that lineup. Don't do that. Sometimes we do, take that strategy, but this is not one of those games where I would do something like that.
Nope. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not really playing. I think that there's that possibility of blowout run too, which might happen. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Blowout run is listen, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying I'm going to build some lineups where that might happen.
Yep.
With that in mind. All right. So, the rookie Cooper. That's another one. Darius Cooper, Eagles wide receiver. I just don't think he's going to be in the game. But, sure. You know what I'm saying? Any one of these names that are going to get any kind of ownership, if you're mass multi-entering, you kind of want to have more than that amount of ownership, because of that. Basically, in back testing, when I back tested these, just a little bit of mechanics of math or whatever, your results don't get worse by going heavier on some of these turds, even though those lineups become dead when they don't win, because when one does finally pop, that's really what you need. Leveraging, going 100% Barkley and he smashes doesn't really help you at all in these contests. It doesn't really make you more money, as weird as that sounds. What makes you more money is if, you had a thought about Turpin or one of these Tolbert types, and they're only going to be 6 and you went 20% and it worked. That's the thing that really helps you take a tournament down. It's rarely, loading up on chalk. Any final thoughts here? Hunter Lupke, Bobbywow. Why is everybody talking about Hunter Lupke?
He's close to min price. He's a guy that could catch a pass. He's kind of like use check 2.0 these days, I feel like. but again, not a guy that I would heavily invest in by any means. The most appealing thing about him is his price tag.
Yeah. Got to catch the right turd in this one. All right. So we're going to jump over to FanDuel and let's take a look at some of those ownerships. FanDuel plays a little different than DraftKings. So I'll just pull it up here and see what we can do. In the meantime, reminder, NFL Flash. NFL Flash to get the 25% off the yearly NFL subscription here. That is a flash sale only during the Showdown breakdown. There's only 25 of those spots available. So make sure you grab one if you're going to do the yearly. If you're a VIP or a monthly DFS Army subscriber, you're doing kickoff 2025 and you can get 20% off VIP right now. That's going through kickoff on Thursday night. So kickoff 2025, that gets you VIP, all sports access. Or if you're a football only person, NFL Flash, 25% off. Go do it.
That's
do it now. All right, let's jump over to FanDuel real quick. And I'm just going to pull up the ownerships for the MVP spot or the projected ownerships at the moment. And Bobbywow, it's not shocking.
No.
Mostly Jalen Hurts, 41%. Hurts and Barkley are going to have massive advantages on FanDuel. FanDuel absolutely favors quarterbacks, especially running quarterbacks. That is the ultimate on FanDuel. That's gold. So, I mean, I think it's fair. I think Jalen Hurts, what would you say the odds are of him being the nuts MVP in this matchup?
I would say probably 50%. 50 to 60%.
Yeah. The ownership reflects it. And the other person that is the next most likely guy to get there is certainly going to be Saquon, assuming, he does his usual thing as well.
That's the only reason Hurts isn't higher. It's because he's got Saquon on the team. But yeah, you're right.
Saquon can easily, Hurts sometimes, if we just look at their production from last year in games like this where the Eagles are heavily favored, and actually is probably Saquon who was the better captain style play or MVP play. Like he outscored Hurts quite a few times in these scenarios in FanDuel scoring. So actually, let's pull that up. Let's pull it up. Let's learn.
Barkley, in the game that they both played, Hurts outscored Barkley, I believe. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. But then, I don't even think Hurts played the second game against the Cowboys last season.
Let's see. Let's find the Cowboy. But I'm just looking in general. Yeah, Hurts was so good last year. Look at all these great scores.
Yeah, Barkley outscored him more than you would think, just in general last season.
Let's look for a good game out of Hurts here. Like Washington, 33 points in the playoffs. Barkley, 33.7. So, I mean, these guys can put up big numbers together at the same time. It's just what you said here, that Rams game. Barkley gets you 40. Jalen Hurts, I think, didn't do as great in that one. Yeah, so Barkley takes over in that one. And here you can see Barkley can absolutely come out and just take over a game and significantly outscore Hurts. So I would say, interestingly, though, Barkley's much more expensive.
Yes, that's the thing with FanDuel. Their pricing, they're a little bit sharper with pricing typically, and I think we see it here again with Barkley.
I mean, the chat is betting on Hunter Luepke touchdown. Ivan's on board with this. I mean,
I do. Hey, look, I think that's the play, though. That's the hedge. You keep him out of your DFS lineups, and then you throw a buck or two on a anytime touchdown. One thing I'll say about Luepke, he had a touch or target in all but 3 games last season. Now, I mean, that's not going to get you there, even when he does have a touch. But just a little nugget for you, for those Luepke lovers.
I gotta see I need to see the logs here. So, did he ever have a good game? No. No. All right. Well,
I don't know that he even scored a touchdown last season, but
he does not have any touchdowns.
At least a touch or target in all but 3 games. So
there were no touchdowns last year, but he's used. I mean, $200. He should be $200. If he's $200, I'll take anything.
Oh no, he's 400. He's 400.
Yeah,
but still,
at that Stoneman salary, it's all good. And hey, you know what? A lot of people are correctly saying the Dallas running back situation is actually worse now than it was then. So maybe Luepke is the starter. Maybe Luepke is the starting running back.
Okay, all right. Come on now.
I don't know. All right, let's take a look at ownership. So We got Hurts, Barkley, and then Dak only 15% owned. Again, it's appropriate. Dak normally would smash in the spot on FanDuel as an MVP, but it's a tough defensive matchup here.
My struggle with Dak is that he's just not cheap enough relative to Hurts. You're not getting that much of a discount with Dak.
It's really hard to see him outscoring Hurts. Like if it could happen though.
Absolutely could happen. I think this is maybe the one of the rare scenarios where I will pair Dak with 2 pass catchers. If I'm playing him at MVP on FanDuel, he'll be paired with 2 pass catchers. For me.
Let me ask you this, Bobbywow. We named those top 3 names: Hurts, Barkley, Dak. This is FanDuel.
Yep.
Do I even have to venture any lower at all? Are there other reasonable FanDuel plays here? I mean, obviously, maybe CeeDee Lamb he could pop. Maybe. Outscore Dak, weirdly. It's hard for one wide receiver to do that, but he could if Dak doesn't throw to anyone else. Javonte, Pickens, who else is reasonable here?
I would venture to guess there wasn't a single week last season that CD outscored all 3 of Hurts, Barkley, and Dak. One of those guys outscored CD in every week, would be my guess.
Let's see.
No, it wasn't a great season for him. But there is that possibility, right? In a crazy game scenario.
Let's look at FanDuel scoring for a second.
That San Francisco game is probably the one you would want to take.
Here we go. San Francisco, CeeDee Lamb puts up a 36. His best game of the year last year. San Francisco. It doesn't matter. We'll find the San Francisco one. Unless... Oh, yeah, here it is. Dak only put up a 15. How the hell did CeeDee Lamb put up a 36 and Dak only got 15? Doesn't even seem possible. He got 36 on the back of, he got 2 touchdowns, 146 yards. Did Dak get hurt that game and somebody else came in? How's this possible? Wait a second.
I don't know.
Something's off.
Maybe Dak had some turnovers as well.
Passing. Oh, he did. No, he only threw it to CeeDee Lamb and no one else did anything.
Yeah.
And CeeDee Lamb got almost 100% of the. So, yeah, I would say that is an argument to say that CeeDee Lamb is a viable.
No, I mean, I was saying one of those 3, Hurts and Barkley.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that was the question. Do we venture below those 3? No, the answer is no, you don't have to. You can. You're probably not. It's tough to take down a tournament with one of those 3, especially Hurts and Barkley.
If we're venturing there, is there a name that kind of pops for you? I think it's got to be Javonte, but ugh. Gross.
It's so gross. But it's Javonte because of the price differential. Look at the salary savings on him compared to the other guys.
Let's see what a lineup looks like on FanDuel. A basic lineup. So I think I would start my lineup. I think I would go. Hurts and Barkley are kind of like you got to have them. So if I start a lineup.
Right.
Well, you can't afford it already. So look at what's going on here. This is what's going on. All right. So we haven't had this experience on FanDuel, right? We haven't had to mess with a +5, with the +1.5 situation. So right now I'm seeing you cannot play Hurts and Barkley together like this. And really, so once I put them,
I don't know if we're able to shrink that at all. Just so we can see.
Yeah,
maybe not.
So you can see. That's my bad. There we go.
Good.
Okay. Boom. So now you can see how much money I have in my FanDuel account too. That's what's up.
Oh, jeez.
But once you start with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, you got 6,825 left. That's not enough. Like you can't make lineups like that. Let's see. Can you? No. Ooh, wait a second. Look what whoa. There are other changes here, Bobbywow, that I did not notice. Look at the price of the kicker.
The floor price has decreased.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, what? Yeah, this is way different. Oh, they literally just copied DraftKings all the way down to the cheapness of the.
Oh, you were thinking the min was 5K. That's where you were at?
I'm experiencing this for the first time. So I did not look at FanDuel's pricing before. Yes, the minimum was 5K, and they've changed that, Bobbywow.
Yes,
That
they have
changes
changed
everything.
that.
All right, so maybe I can afford Hurts and Barkley because I'm like, man, I can't do this. So you start with those two. Let's say I plug in like a Fergie, who I actually like. Maybe we plug in, I don't like any of this in sort of a, so let me just see what the rest of it, so we got 7,400 now. Maybe a Jake Elliott, a Tolbert, a defense. Well, we can go Javonte, plug him in there. Wow, this plays really different than before.
It's going to be fun, man. I think FanDuel is going to be a lot of fun this season. Showdowns.
Yeah. We have to fully, guys, we're going to have to fully readjust the thing. FanDuel has basically metamorphed into DraftKings. We just have to play it like DraftKings now. So, yeah, I mean, these guys down here, I don't know. You got any ideas? Elliott?
One guy that's pretty cheap on FanDuel. I know you got Ferguson right now. Pickens he's intriguing, given his ceiling. I think he's very volatile, even more so in his first game here. But I would probably take off Ferguson or Williams, one of those two guys.
Yeah, I'll need in order for a lineup to work with Hurts and Barkley up top. What I'm seeing is that you absolutely need like a real turd, like a Turpin level turd in the lineup to make it work. It's not going to feel good making a lineup with any of these guys. So like a Turpin in there, and then you can kind of get a maybe reasonable player with the last spot. Interesting.
Yeah, Turpin's way cheaper than Tolbert on FanDuel. That's the price difference that that's what I'd be looking at on DraftKings. I don't know why we don't have that.
Yeah, well, it's just incorrectly done on DraftKings, but I'm just trying to see if anybody's popping. Yeah, I mean, the only way to do it with defense and kicker, like, where's Eagles defense? Yeah, you got to kind of get them in there. Maybe a kicker, something like that, and you can make a lineup. Oh, with Dak in it. Oh, I actually. Oh, wait a second. Kind of like that, but even still, not that great. So basically, this is a good thing. It's not great for this video that we're doing right now because I would have. The lineup doesn't look sexy on the screen at all, but it is cool that it's basically in the past I was able to just jump on FanDuel and boop, 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 put together the easiest like cash lineup ever, kicker.
It would take 1 second. Yes.
Yeah. And it's not like that anymore. So it's definitely going to require more effort.
I think Ferguson might be the best Cowboys play on FanDuel. He is way too cheap.
Fergie. I love Fergie. I've been a big Fergie. Ferguson, one of the weird things about him is he's not good when Dak's not on the team, but when Dak is there, he just got paid too. He got like $50 million. When Dak's there, he has a great record with him. I think he averages over 5 receptions per game with Dak Prescott. So, give me some Fergie across the board. Jesse likes the Cooper, that wide receiver, Darryl Cooper. So that name's been mentioned a few times. Guys, I've learned in doing these showdown breakdowns not to ignore the names that are popping up in the chat.
Yeah, honestly. And we've had some conviction in the chat for this first game of the season. I love this, man. This is awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely. Guys, reminder, there's more showdown action on Friday night. We've got the, and of course, the Tournament Tactics crew will be back together right here on DFS Army YouTube channel on Friday at 5 this week and every week to break down the main slate. We'll be back with another showdown for tomorrow night's game as well. We'll have a breakdown for it at some point, probably Friday morning, because not before this game plays out. And a big weekend of DFS action. Cheat sheets are kind of getting fired off right now. Bobbywow's working the FanDuel sheet this season. Bob, you excited to attack that amazing contest on FanDuel week 1, the free money contest?
Oh my gosh. I was excited, and then you somehow hyped me up even more over the last week. So
anytime they give you free money in DFS, you got to take it. Guys, these guys are here to take money from you. When they give you some, you got to take it from them. And that's what they're doing on FanDuel this week. So we got to do that. Jay, I might pop in later tonight for DFS Army in the Discord, and we'll do a little setup. There's not that much to it for showdowns, really. There's not a whole lot going on there, but I might pop in for a one-off showdown tutorial, little setup action for tonight, maybe late night tonight, gummy time.
That would actually be great. especially with the extra showdown these first couple of weeks. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Good
Should
idea.
he trade Ridley for Garrett Wilson? Yes, you should trade Ridley for Garrett Wilson.
Oh man.
Yes, that's a yes. So very exciting. And guys, remember, do the flash promo if you want to do a full year of DFS Army NFL 12-month package. It winds up costing like 3 months of monthly cost with code FLASH, NFL Flash. There's only 25 of them. They keep telling you on the screen. That is just for now. That's it. It's going to be gone. Hopefully, if 25 of you signed up, I don't know. Maybe there's somebody. We already got one, as far as I know in the chat, right? Or if you want to do VIP, this is that time when we discount it ahead of kickoff as well. Monthly VIP covers all sports. Oh, there's only 14 spots left. There you go. So we got 11 signups during the show, Bobbywow.
That's big time. I mean, that is, we always say it, but that actually is the best deal I've ever seen.
Yeah, that one's really good. Well, if you're an NFL person, a lot of people, or all football, which covers college football, if that's what all you're into, that's the best one to do. And it's also 12 months. It does not matter when you signed up. You get a full year of it, and it renews at that discounted price. It's crazy. So they're only doing this for right there. And then it's new customers only, guys. Don't cancel your account and go sign up for that. It's for new customers only. You're not going to get it. But also the VIP promo.
That means you'd have it for this season and best ball next season.
Yeah, for all of best ball, and then it will renew if you want to keep it going. Yeah, no, it is the best deal. Fact 74 was a best ball guy, and now he's getting into a little DFS as well. Welcome, Fact 74. But the other thing, the other note, what other note? Was that it? Oh, yeah, we'll be back. So, yeah, Friday, we got Tournament Tactics back together again. Burns, Josiah, Bobbywow, and myself will be covering the main slate. We're going to have a showdown breakdown for the Friday night game as well. And we got double games next week, too. So many games. Weekend games, Friday, Saturday. I love it. The early season's getting crazy. And last note, of course, don't forget, if you're into arbitrage betting or you just like winning money on the sportsbook or taking back some of the money that the sportsbooks have taken for you, look at it. Look at it happening right now. Again, totally different. I would bet this one right now. If I want to go bet some unders on Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt.
Yes.
Hammer those unders right there. But it's an ARB. You could bet the over. You bet the under. It tells you here, no matter which side wins, you're making 3.5% on your money. Good luck making 3.5% doing anything else. You got to wait a whole year in a CD to make that kind of money, Bobbywow.
A whole year.
You either have to have the patience to wait a year in a CD, or you just put it on Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt over 33.5 rushing yards and under 33.5 rushing yards. You place both sides and you always win. No matter which side wins, you are a winner. We want to make people winners.
It doesn't get easier than that. And we have, and we will continue to do so.
Yeah. Now, thanks everybody. Thank you. Oh, talk to me, Bobby.
I want one prediction from you, okay? Before we're kind of on the eve of the 2025 NFL season. Give me your non-pessimistic, so still real, but non-pessimistic win total for the Jets this season.
Jets win total, keeping it real. I like what the team is doing. I'm going to get it. I'm going to put them at 8 wins.
Does that get them in the playoffs?
No playoffs.
Okay. 8 wins, no playoffs. Okay.
Yeah, but enough to say, hey, feel pretty good about bringing Fields back next year. Hopefully.
Okay.
So I hope that it works out. Yeah, I have my pessimistic view is the best offensive lineman got hurt yesterday, and the world is falling as it always does. Breece Hall's going to stink. Fields is going to stink, and we're going to have to blow up the whole thing and start all over again next year. And I hope that Arch Manning is available. That's my pessimistic version.
Well, I'm glad we weren't doing our pessimistic take there.
I'm glad. I'm excited for your team this year. I think the Bears are going to do really well. I love the head coach. You finally have a good coach over there, and I think we're going to see the best of that offensive group. There's wide receivers everywhere that are decent on the team. The quarterback's good. I even love DeAndre Swift this year, Bobbywow. I don't even know what's going on. And Ian Lindquist, hell yeah. Players Club back on Saturdays.
Let's go.
This weekend, every weekend, we'll have it. We're going to be what we do for DFS Army subscribers. We do a live stream Players Club every Saturday. We're going to drink some Blue Moons, and we're going to build thoughtful lineups for small tournaments and multipliers, the bread and butter of at least what I like to do personally.
I love how you phrase that. Thoughtful.
Whoa, only
lineup.
11 spots left, man. Guys, you're eating up those flash. It's going to be gone. But that's okay. If the NFL flash is gone and you're going to sign up, get in there, use code NFL 2025, and that one that'll do VIP monthly for all sports here, and it'll take 20% off. So that's really good too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to do a lot of promo on this one, Bobbywow. It's the first one of the season. Everybody got to get signed up for their sites. Guys, good luck. Good luck in the showdown. Here's wishing that your turds float to the top of the bowl for this slate. Everybody, Bobbywow, I appreciate you. Great to be back together. 270 people watching live. Appreciate you guys and everybody watching in review. Don't forget us on Fridays at 5 for Tournament Tactics. Take care, everybody.